Both of them? Hi. Good morning, everybody. If I could ask everyone to find a seat. We are live streaming this, and so it will be going live very shortly. So it would be great if you could already be seated in your chairs. Thank you very much. Hi, good morning, everybody. We will be beginning in just 2 minutes. And I'm sorry we have to be absolutely on time because we're live streaming this. So if you could just wrangle the last few people in from the entryway, that would be great. And as you sit down, make sure you've turned your phones off. That would be fantastic. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. It is now 10:30 and we are live streaming, so I would ask anybody to try to not walk in the little piece here. So welcome to the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking's annual meeting. My name is Kate Lee and I am the Executive Director. First of all, just a little bit more housekeeping. Please, because we're live streaming, make sure your phones are set to Do Not Disturb if you can, and just make sure that chairs are moved around to the minimum if possible. Before we begin, I really have to say a most enormous thank you to the Human Rights Institute here at Kean University. This is not the first time they've hosted us. They have been a supporter of ours from the very, very beginning. I'm particularly grateful to the director at the Human Rights Institute, Dr. Loretta Farrell, her incredible assistant, Mindy Goldstein, Asia Hunter, and her incredible team of technicians. You are awesome. So thank you very, very much. You truly do live your mission of promoting human rights, and we're proud to be here. But really, I feel so excited, and I have to share that because, you know, this is the first time we've met in person for more than 2 years, and it's really giving me goosebumps. I've missed seeing so many of you, and it's really great to see people who joined in the last 2 years who I've never met in person before. So this is an extraordinary moment, and I'm just so happy to be part of it. We've also tried to make this very first meeting since COVID one that's safe for you, and that means, you know, you are our most precious resource. You need to feel safe doing this volunteer work that you do. We are a volunteer-run organization, so this is who we care about. If you can stay with us because you feel safe and you feel good about doing the work you do, then we will continue for another decade and more, hopefully. Safety is basically what we're about now, right? Safety is our word. In the 2 years that we've been powering along remotely, holding countless events and running multiple trainings online, we also won a rebrand worth $50,000, which gave us the new tagline of "Let's create a safer state," with Safer NJ becoming our new web address. And safety is just a great message. Looking at you all, so many in your new coalition t-shirts, I'm looking at a vibrant sea of blue and a group of dedicated volunteers who have never stopped raising awareness and providing education despite whatever was going on. You continue to provide a message about safety and freedom that everyone can relate to, and it's an easy message to spread. We hope that anyone who learns about how to prevent human trafficking from our trainings and events feels empowered to share that knowledge throughout our communities in New Jersey, because safety is a compelling message. But it's not been all Zooms this year. Members of our amazing Speakers Bureau have been out offering in-person trainings as well, if they felt comfortable to do so, along with remote trainings. And they've done 60 this year. So please stand if you're a member of the Speakers Bureau. I'd like to have you be acknowledged by everybody here. I look at you all. It's an incredible group of people who go out into our communities and educate, train, and above all, keep people safe. Another part of our work that has powered along have been the many public online events that we held that were presented by amazing leaders with lived experience of human trafficking. In the last 2 years, we've held trainings on the trafficking of men, boys, and LGBTQ youth, on labor trafficking, on the realities of life after trafficking. We've done a training on the connection between child abuse and human trafficking. We've recently trained on the trafficking of young children by family members, familial trafficking. All of these presentations were made possible via our Survivor Leader Advisory Council, coordinated by our incredible survivor consultant, Gina Cavallo. So Gina, please stand. Gina and others gave testimony in Trenton, allowing us a huge victory this January after 3 years of hard work and so many of your phone calls and emails, and it allowed for the passage of the vacatur expansion bill, which coalition members had also authored. That law is now in effect, and many pro bono lawyers are busy right now actively helping to give survivors a fresh start in life by being able to have many more of their criminal records cleared, which they had received as a result of being trafficked. The message of vacatur is more powerful than just expungement. It says these convictions should never have happened. It's an important psychological message to survivors. But one extra special thing that happened this year was the celebration of our 10th anniversary in December. I'd like to have all those people who worked on the 10th anniversary committee or who were interviewed for that event to please stand and be acknowledged. You're incredible. So everybody, thank you. Shortly, we'll be viewing a fantastic highlights video from that event put together by the incredible Christine Millian. She's familiar to this place because she is our internship director and she runs the internship program here when we're able to do it in person. And she's also an amazing video editor, so we'll be showing that shortly. But first, I'd like to invite Wincy Terry Bryant, our arts co-chair, and Gina Cavallo, our survivor consultant, just to share a little bit about what went into that event. Wincy and Gina?
Good morning. So grateful to see all of you. And I'm Wincy Terry Bryant. I'm the arts co-chair. And I just want to give you just a little bit of insight into what you're going to see. We, along with this amazing committee of people who were so selfless with their time and meetings, we got together, some of my musical friends. You won't see it all because we had so many musicians to dedicate time and create videos so that they could help lift up what we are doing here in New Jersey. I'm so proud of New Jersey. I'm so grateful and honored to work with you all. And then we had some of our legislators and some of our lived experience experts, and they all got together and we spent time casting. And what was great about being able to do it online was we were able to cast to the world what we're doing here in New Jersey, taking the lead on fighting human trafficking and raising awareness. And we could not have done that without each of you. So we are grateful to every one of you. And we had some groups of people stand, but I would like you to each give yourselves a big round of applause for being here and for helping us do what we do, because we just couldn't do it without you. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Gina Cavallo, a survivor consultant, and Wincy, she pretty much said it all, so I don't want to take up much time. You'll see it. We had a lot of individuals with lived experience that were part of our anniversary as well as our end of year last year as well. And many of them, although we couldn't capture them all, many of them said the same thing about our coalition that I'm so proud of because of all your efforts and support, is that they want to model New Jersey. They want to model the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking. And to me, that just says it all. So, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now, without further ado, our highlights video.
I'm Wincy Terry Bryant, and I will be your host for the 10th anniversary celebration of the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking.
I'm so grateful and proud that this coalition, a New Jersey coalition, is setting the example for other states in our country, demonstrating what dedicated, organized, and passionate community members can do to fight this horrific crime.
All I need to say is thank you, thank you, thank you for your hard work, your dedication, and your advocacy.
You all are our lights amidst the dark challenges of human trafficking, and you know that New Jersey must rise up and meet this horrific scourge.
Together, we have passed several critical landmark pieces of legislation, of which I will forever be proud of.
You have empowered the voices of survivors. You have strengthened our state and local human trafficking laws.
I'm a survivor, and I've been working with the coalition since 2014 when we first came here to fight against trafficking by helping to rescue those being trafficked before the Super Bowl and educate motel owners. And the coalition was amazing in their efforts. They brought volunteers, and they've continued to do that every single year since the Super Bowl.
Finally, a place of our own. Dave, I'm so grateful.
No kidding. It took me 4 years to convince you.
Hey, don't judge me. I didn't want to leave my friends and family.
You know, we'll start like a whole new life of our own.
Hmm. You're so good to me. Dave, it's not working. It's not working. Dave, open the door. It's cold out here.
The only way you're coming back inside is if you come back with $100.
Baby, where am I supposed to get $100 from?
Well, I don't really care where or who you get it from, but that's what it's going to cost you to get back into this house tonight.
Before your eyes, it's happening. Below your eyes, it's in everything.
Grooming is individuals trying to manipulate children, adults, or what have you, in order to do things that they normally wouldn't do. It's just really manipulating, and it's about getting and gaining some child's trust.
What every student can do to spread the word is understand the red flags and how to interact with others, especially online, in a safe manner that protects your personal privacy.
Where would you like to see the coalition go in the next 2 years?
Empowering survivors and amplifying their voices and giving them a platform through our organization and through our coalition.
I do envision a world where survivors are seen, heard, understood, and they could continue to heal. And I want to see our organization be a pivotal part of that.
The invisible part is educating the community so that we can prevent people that we don't even know from becoming trafficking victims.
Could you imagine, Wincy, if we had a wraparound program where survivors were able to go and have services not only for physical health, mental health, and housing? Could you imagine that?
I just want to thank New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking for believing in survivors, educating them, enlightening them, empowering them, and ensuring that every survivor lives a happy life with freedom and with financial capabilities.
I want to see trans people of color in leadership. I want to see safe houses for queer people of color. I want to see post-conviction relief in New Jersey, identification and response protocols that are inclusive of all genders, and increased identification in hospitals. At the end of the day, there should be no wrong door that survivors have to go through to leave.
My dream, Wincy, is for peace and hope and health for people who have been touched by this horrible thing called human trafficking, and that they should never feel alone, and that they too can be seen to tell their story when they think it's appropriate and in the way that they think is appropriate, so they can inspire someone else to the next level.
I'm Wincy Terry Bryan, and I will be
that we held, but just incredible work. Wincy, you are an angel, a creative genius. Gina, you bring all the inspiration, the passion, and so many people with lived experience. But I also want to acknowledge Arlene Zabala, who, if you still want to go and see our incredible virtual exhibit booth, it's still up on our website. You can find that on the About Us stage and a page of our website, and go take a tour of some of our incredible coalition partners. So at this time, it's now my privilege to introduce the President of the Board of Trustees, Danny Pepper.
Thank you, Kate. Good morning. It is so amazing to see everyone. I feel like this is a big family reunion. It's been well over 2 years since we've seen each other. We have board members that we've never met in person, and so many of us have met virtually, and it's just so great to be here as humans together, to hug and just have a conversation. So it's just so awesome to see all of you. I just have a few short remarks. I recently came across a Mark Twain quote, and it's been reverberating within me, and I wanted to share it with you today. Mark Twain said, "The two most important days in your life are the day that you're born and the day that you find out why." And knowing our why is so powerful because there's such purpose and potential in our why. As an educator, I'm often reminding myself of my why, especially this year and all that we've been through. As a man standing before you, I know that my why on this earth is to be a dad. I can remember those defining moments of when my two children were born. Part of my why is to be a husband. I remember obviously vividly my wedding day. I remember becoming an educator. Those are my whys. But I stand before you today as knowing my why is to be a lifelong activist for freedom, to combat injustice and to prevent all forms of human trafficking. And that is why we are here today. That why is what binds us together as a coalition. It is something that we have and we share in common. We share a common vision, a common purpose, a common desire. And that commonality that unites us is to prevent and end and eradicate all forms of human trafficking here in New Jersey and beyond. And this meeting today is about all of you and all of us together, what we have been able to accomplish together. To all of our volunteers who have dedicated so much time and have made such a commitment to our cause. In this past year, we've accomplished much in the face of so many challenges. We have to remember that COVID is still a reality this past year, with months of major spikes in the numbers that have prevented things like this from happening. But in the face of that, as Kate recounted, we've had so many incredible virtual events where we've amplified survivor voices to educate and to further their stories. We had the honor of releasing a labor trafficking PSA, which was individuals with lived experience telling their stories of triumph and educating our state and beyond about labor trafficking. Our healthcare committee produced an incredible short film, and we're soon to release a sex trafficking PSA that will come this summer, again, amplifying the voices of those with lived experiences. We celebrated the comprehensive guidelines for schools that were released in January by the Department of Education. We were able to see our legislative committee have such success when Bill A 5322 was signed into law, as Kate mentioned. We celebrated our 10th anniversary, and with so many challenges we navigated through, we're here today with our first in-person meeting. And all of this was made possible because of our collaboration, our teamwork, and a collective commitment to eradicating human trafficking from our state. We are a coalition. A coalition is defined as an alliance for combined action. I absolutely love that. That's who we are, right? We are an alliance of people from so many diverse backgrounds, but we have a common goal and a common desire, and that is to eradicate and end and prevent all forms of human trafficking. We're a group of common, ordinary people who together are accomplishing extraordinary, monumental tasks through compassion, grace, and empathy. As we enter our next decade as a coalition, I believe that we are poised and positioned to do incredible and great things here in this state and beyond. I want to leave you with this quote by Andrew Carnegie. Teamwork is the ability to work together toward a common vision, the ability to direct individual accomplishments towards organizational objectives. It is the fuel that allows common people to attain uncommon results. And today is a celebration of our teamwork, our collaboration, and today is a day to honor and recognize our incredible volunteers, each of you that are here today, for your commitment, your dedication, for all of the incredible amount of time that you have taken away from your families, maybe taken away from your careers, and invested into our work together. And it's a day to look back and say, look at all that we've accomplished together. It's such an awesome feeling to feel that unity, that teamwork, and that collaboration. So on behalf of myself and the Board of Trustees to all of our volunteers, thank you, thank you, thank you for your commitment, your dedication, your determination, your passion, your desire. We share something in common, and that's what today is about, is to recognize that and celebrate that. So thank you so much. I'd like to introduce one of our board members, as well as our co-chair of our operating council, Stephen DeLuca.
So let's see. First, thank you. Okay. Okay, we're now going to be recognizing certain people, and we want to say, Kate and Danny and I want to say thank you to all of you, because while not everyone is getting an award, we really appreciate all that you have done throughout the year. Every one of you deserves a round of applause, so thank you very much. We're going to start with a couple of people who are retiring from the board, and we're going to call up the person who's going to present the award first, and they will then present the recipient. And for our two board retirees, the first presenter is Aldina Habdi. Aldina?
Hello, everyone. I get to introduce Ingrid Johnson. I first met Ingrid on the healthcare committee. And when I think of Ingrid, I think I'm looking for her. There she is. Okay, good. When I think of her, the first word that comes to mind, and I had to do a little thinking about this, is powerhouse. She's one of the most powerful speakers I've ever seen. She is an incredibly powerful leader. Whatever really she aims to do, whatever she goes after, she does, and she does it with the most grace, the most humility, and she's always just the most supportive, the most positive. She's always ready to lend the helping hand that's needed. I know I have leaned on her many times. I am very blessed to work with her on the Commission on Human Trafficking as well, so I'm lucky that I get to keep working with her on that. But above all else, Ingrid is a dear friend who I love very dearly, and very excited to give this award to you. Before I give you a hug.
Just briefly, there's so much love in the room, and I forever have told Kate that this has been a wonderful family. And although I made the decision to not continue with the board, it was only because I felt led by God to do some other things related to this work. And so I'm still with all of you, and there's so much room in this coalition for all of us to have a role and a place, no matter how small or how large. So I encourage those who are watching and listening to take up this cause and find your place, because we've made room for you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ingrid. For our next board retiree, I'd like to invite Danny to present the award.
It is my honor to speak on behalf of Esmelda Abreu. Esmelda was our first president of our Board of Trustees when the coalition decided to move in the direction of a board. Esmelda was our first president, and she led us through the foundational periods when we were just learning as we were going. We looked to her for her leadership, for her wisdom, her expertise. And I'm honored to speak on behalf of her, because Esmelda is, to me personally, a mentor. She is someone that I've leaned on, I've learned so much from. I had the honor of getting to know her when we first co-chaired the education committee together, when she was then working at Montclair State University. And on a personal level, I have learned so much about her regarding leadership, regarding this issue, about education. And we are gonna miss her. We definitely want her to come back down the road. But we'd like to honor Esmelda Abreu as our first president of the board, now moving on, and hopefully we'll have her back at another point in time. Esmelda.
I first want to thank everybody here for the courage, right? The courage to look at something, a social issue that many people are overwhelmed by. But when we're making change, there are a couple essential pieces. First, you have to see it. You have to acknowledge the wrongdoing, the evil. Then you need to name it, and then you need to stand against it. So once upon a time, there was no such concept as child labor. People had to see it, and they had to name it, and then they had to correct it. What I see in this room is tremendous hope for standing against injustice, wrongdoing, and evil, because you've come together to witness it, to name it, and to stand against it. And I have to tell you, being part of this journey the last 10 years has been a tremendous honor, but it's because of the volunteers, the people that left the convenience of their day-to-day life to do something, the coalition as an entity, an alliance, right? And then the leadership of the coalition. I can't even say enough about everybody in the board, in leadership, that meet at all hours of the day and night to address this invisible plague on the planet, but to make it palpable in terms of our change in New Jersey. I can say more, but instead I'm going to share a colloquial term from the Dominican Republic, from where I was born. Okay? When we want success for our people, we say pa'lante. So I want to thank you again for this acknowledgement, but truly it's for everybody here. I want to wish you Godspeed and pa'lante.
Congratulations, Esmeralda, and thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your service. The next set of awards is to recognize service on the board, and our first presenter is Nicole Leopardi.
Hi, everybody. I have had the privilege of getting to know Susan a little bit better through her work as the chair of the nominating committee this year. She is clearly dedicated to the work of the coalition, and she selflessly volunteers her time to provide invaluable insight regarding board candidates. Susan is an extremely effective communicator and is great at building consensus. She also is thoughtful, kind, and genuine in her passion for this important work. It is my honor to present Susan Waldman with this award.
I wasn't expecting this, so I'm overwhelmed. I love the coalition. I was the first person that said it was like family when we used to meet in person, and everybody is wonderful. Kate is wonderful. Steve is wonderful. Danny is wonderful. I've made so many friends here. Oh my goodness. I'm in shock. Oh, this is beautiful. Thank you so much, and I'm not leaving.
Congratulations. The next presenter is myself, and I'm really delighted to present this next award. Janice Wall, could you please come up? I've had the privilege of working with Janice since November last year on a board committee for the strategic planning, and she has taken on the reins of being the chairperson for that committee, and let me tell you, it's not easy. We were chosen because of our bold thinking, and with bold thinking comes some strong personalities, and it's not for the faint of heart. And it's not easy to keep us all going in the same direction, but she's done it. And there's been a lot of information that we've had to familiarize ourselves with, and she has helped us to bring it together so it's something that's digestible for us and something we can work with. And so we are not ready to present our report yet, but we will be presenting something in the fall. And I think you're going to be really pleased with the result, and it's largely because of Janice's leadership. And so, Janice, thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen. You're incredibly generous to provide an award before we've finished our work. So we do promise to come back. And I've learned so much from the team that I've worked with. I've really enjoyed getting to know them and to learn much more about the area. So we're excited to continue our work, and we will come back. Thank you.
Congratulations, Janice. And for our next awardee, let me call up Danny.
The next volunteer that we'd like to recognize is Bob Bohnberg. Bob serves as general counsel to the Board of Trustees. He has been in that role for the last 3 years. In that role, he's provided such a wealth of legal advice, wisdom, suggestions. He's helped with direction. Bob also should be recognized for all of the work that he's done with our bylaws and the countless hours of editing and going back and forth and all of the revision process. So, and then just as I said regarding Ms. Melda, Bob, for me personally, has been a mentor. He's someone that I've been able to call and have lengthy conversations with just to learn this position better. Bob, you have been such an amazing mentor, but more importantly, a friend. So we want to recognize you and thank you for your service to the board as general counsel.
Apparently you folks didn't get the memo. You don't give the awards to the lawyers. It's been my privilege to have worked and to continue to work with the coalition and to work on an issue that I've been working on more or less for 2 decades. The coalition does outstanding work. The people who lead the coalition are outstanding people, and I look forward to not only celebrating the accomplishments today, but to seeing the accomplishments of tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Bob, and thank you again for your service from one lawyer to another. We're lawyers, don't hold it against us, please. The next set of awards is going to be for outstanding volunteers. Let me just give a shout out to Gina. It was her idea, and just like we recognized the survivors last year, it was her idea, and Kate and I thought it was a splendid idea that we recognize the volunteers. And the first person who's going to present is Gina.
So I have the distinct honor where I met this individual about 4 or 5 years ago, and speaking of powerhouse, she was a powerhouse. It was actually my first gala attended with the New Jersey Coalition, and Wincy, would you come up here? We were at our gala, and so many volunteers. Everybody put so much into this. And one of the things, there was a lot of different entertainers that brought different gifts to the table. And I didn't really know Wincy well at all. In fact, she was in the background. And then I'm sitting there with my husband, and all of a sudden I hear this voice, like powerhouse, a powerhouse. And she blew the room away, and she blew me away. And I was like, when you have Wincy singing, you don't need any other entertainers, although they were all good. I have also had the honor with you as a survivor. Danny often talks about empowering survivors, amplifying their voices. And my heart is so warmed today. And it's so emotional because I love seeing the volunteers being recognized, because without you, this wouldn't be happening. And many times I go out and speak. I do many presentations, schools, healthcare, Trenton, testimonies. And when I had an injury back in October, they said I couldn't go. I couldn't go to that. I just came out of the hospital. So Wincy went, which she does, our Speakers Bureau, is also a powerhouse. And Wincy went to this school, but I wanted to go too. And I got there through my app, all the walkers and the back brace and all. And I got there to support Wincy, to support you, and to hear you and see you and listen to you. And I just love everything about you. You are a force not to be reckoned with. You reached those kids like there was no tomorrow. You made it easy for me, because survivors don't need to do everything. We can't do everything. There's times where we need to say no for our self-care. And I just loved how you engaged, and the kids just soaked everything up. And I love going out with Wincy as a team. So I have the honor to present this to you. I look up to you. I have a great deal of respect for you, Wincy. You inspire me. You inspire the young, the youth. Her book, Safe, and her Safe Saturday programs for all ages, with her event presentations, Traffic Jam, which is about Wincy using the arts to teach about human trafficking prevention. And I just want to thank you and honor you with this. And we thank you as a coalition. We respect you, we love you, and we have a long journey to go together.
I just want to say thank you to Gina, who is amazing, and to Kate, who is such an amazing leader, and to just say, when you have found your people, like your tribe of people who feel the way you feel about something, but they don't try to put you in a box and make you do it their way. They say, bring whatever your gifts are, and we can all, like Ingrid said, find room together to do what it is that we were put on this earth to do and make a difference, and everybody can bring their own individuality. And I'm just so grateful, because even with the 10th anniversary, when I said, you know, Kate said, it's our 10th anniversary, let's do something. I said, oh, I have an idea. She didn't try to like put me in a box. She said, let's just do it as big as you want to do it. And that's what I find here at the coalition. So if you are not a member, I'm talking to you on the live stream, if you're not a member yet, you want to get down with this, because this is so, as if it's not rewarding enough to have somebody acknowledge you for doing what you already feel good about doing. This is just the most incredible family in the world. That's it.
Oh, it's about time. Congratulations. Our next presenter is Susan Banzica.
I am thrilled to present this next award to someone that I highly regard and deeply love. My friend Patty Pfeiffer. Patty. Patty exemplifies what it means to be a volunteer. We're behind the scenes people, but nothing gets done unless you have behind the scenes people. Patty and I served together at our local church and at Justice Network, and she found out about human trafficking and has continued to learn about it and educate herself and grow in learning about human trafficking. And so she joined the coalition from Justice Network. And she has stepped up in so many ways. When I needed help with the Speakers Bureau, Patty offered to do some administrative work. When we wanted to take the Speakers Bureau from simply being reactive so that when people request us, we go, and we wanted to make it more proactive, to go out into the communities and let people know what they don't know that they need to know, we wanted to create an outreach committee. And so it was a logical choice to tap Patty and her co-chair, Mary Ann, to do that. And when our coalition was preparing its first gala, and somebody in the meeting just said, well, what if we had some baskets? I knew who to call. The basket queen, Patty Pfeiffer. Patty always goes above and beyond without seeking any recognition for any task that she undertakes. She has offered her home, her time, her husband's time, to our mutual cause of ending human trafficking in New Jersey. And so it is with great appreciation that I present the award to my friend Patty Pfeiffer.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Yeah, I love this coalition. You know, everything everybody was saying, you know, your why. Years ago, I found out about human trafficking, and I thought it was an over there problem. And then with the Justice Network, I found out it's a here problem. And I've learned so much from this coalition. I've learned so much from all of you. And one of the things that I say about the Speakers Bureau is, I never know who I'm going to help, and it doesn't matter because we're going to help somebody. And the same thing with outreach. We're going to help somebody, and it doesn't matter if we know. And that's what I love about this work. So thank you.
Okay, our next presenter is Susan Nair.
I am absolutely thrilled to present our next awardee. She's my role model. She is so full of positive energy and can always figure out what needs to be done and how to get it done. And with such compassion and caring. And so I want to introduce to you Diana Staris. Now, I was trying to think. I can't, these have to be short. So first, I need a hug. And so I thought I'd just give you some of the highlights. So I'll be very brief. And I will read this to you because... She's kidding, she's kidding. Yeah, they're only the highlights. So I'm going to just read this to you because then I will talk more quickly and not fog my glasses. Okay. She is one of the original co-chairs of the Healthcare Committee, and she created the energy and structure that has made the committee so effective. She continues to be a very active member of the committee, including the Evaluation and Speakers Bureau working groups. She spearheaded the healthcare film that we are going to be seeing today. And, you know, she's a behind-the-scenes person, so you don't even realize it's her when you hear her voice. But she does have a walk-on role, and you will hear her name. So everybody watch for that. Well, but it's, yeah, but I mean, so she may not be the star in front of the camera, but she's always a star behind everything that happens in the coalition. And right now, she's also the training coordinator for the Speakers Bureau. She is one of the spearheaders of a national Zoom conference for healthcare that will be on October 22nd. Save that date. And she is, in addition to all of this, she is a member of the American Hospital Association's Hospitals Against Violence Advisory Council and a member of Robert Wood Johnson's Violence Intervention Program, WAVE, working together against violence to empower. So for me personally, the best part is being able to work with such a beautiful person. So congratulations again. Thanks so much.
I don't even know what to say. Thank you, obviously, and I appreciate being recognized, but I also want to say that what we do as a group and a team, and it wouldn't happen otherwise. So I am outspoken, and I do persevere and push and all those good things to make things happen. But again, you have to have a great team to work with. So thank you, everybody.
Okay, we still have some more outstanding volunteers to get to, and our next presenter is Miriam.
So the next honoree is Sherry Trugman, who couldn't be with us today. She's at a family graduation, but I wanted to say a few words about her anyhow. So I can't recall exactly when I met Sherry. I think it was about 4 years ago at an operating council meeting, and I had told her that I also just joined NCJW, which is also known as National Council of Jewish Women. So she started to tell me about all the great things that NCJW did, and NCJW is one of the founding members of the coalition. And she said, you have to join the Anti-Trafficking Committee. And I see we have one of the co-chairs here, Carol Cohn. And I said, I think about it. You know, I got a lot going on, you know, like we always say. But for those of you that know Sherry, I'm not sure you can turn her down. Okay. And as times went on, I started to seek out Sherry at our meetings and find out what was happening. She drove a bunch of us to the Advocacy Day in Trenton before the pandemic, so I got a chance to get to know her better. We were in the car, we were in traffic, and I was amazed at all the things that she did for both NJCAHT and NCJW. Must be something with the N's and the C's. Knowing Sherry, there are probably other organizations as well that benefit from her willingness to say yes when something needs to be done. She's one of those people that raises her hand rather than looking around the room to see if somebody else can take on the responsibility. As recording secretary, Sherry graciously donated her time to make sure she was available for our monthly operating council meetings and that the minutes were accurate. And that's not an easy task when the agenda often got switched around, things were added during the meeting, and there were usually 60+ people participating. Sherry was so welcoming to me, and I'm sure that she's that way with everyone. It is an honor to be part of not only one, but 2 organizations that Sherry is involved with. And while she is stepping down from being the operating council recording secretary, I know that NJCAHT will continue to benefit from her dedication, kindness, and commitment. So hopefully maybe she even was able to watch, but with that, I accept this on behalf of Sherry, and we at the Coalition want to thank her from the bottom of all of our hearts.
We have one other outstanding volunteer to recognize, and I have the honor of introducing her. I'm just not sure if she's here. Claire Vandertine, are you here? Claire? Is Claire here? Come on up. Whichever side you want. We like to kid ourselves. I have had the distinct honor and pleasure of working with Claire for a number of years now, and she's just a dynamo. She's really smart. I love how she is not afraid to think outside the box and push the envelope. I've seen her take charge of certain bills at the federal level. She focuses on federal legislation and the internet. And we've had some great successes this past year, and it's largely because of her leadership in that role. The Legislative Committee has accomplished so much, and it's not easy to stand above, but Claire does. It's easy to recognize how much work she does. She's done a phenomenal job. For one, she helped us pass the Debt Bondage Repair Act, which was signed into law in December, and that took a lot of work with our senators and congressmen. And she is now also working with our senators and our congressmen on the Trafficking Victims Protection Repair Act, or Reauthorization Act, and she is on top of it, like she's in the room with everybody. She knows what's going on. She's updated us just a couple of days ago. And she knows exactly who's doing what, and I'm just in awe of what she does. But most importantly, I love our conversations when we talk about things and what she has in mind. And I just want to encourage her and support her and thank her very much for all your work. Thank you, Claire.
That rat, he ratted me out. Well, I just want to say thank you to all of you who have just put up with me, particularly through COVID, when we were all kind of bordering on ranting and just trying to hold it together and keep one foot moving in front of the other and feel like we could do something other than just sit there like a bunch of chumps and take it. And having compatriots on that task has been unbelievable. And the privilege I have of learning something completely new every single day has not stopped for over 10 years now. And that's such an incredible blessing. How many people can really say that? And it's all because of the coalition. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, so this is going to come as a surprise to a few more recipients who didn't know that these awards were coming, and for that I'd like to invite Gina. Actually, there's Gina, are you doing it? No?
No, it's me.
Oh, you're
It's
doing
me.
it, okay.
It's me.
I
That's
was
okay.
inviting Gina.
No. Actually, yes, we were very lucky that we could actually get you all here without telling you that we needed you here today. So everybody that just spoke, it was off the cuff, because no one had any knowledge of the fact that we were doing this today. But it was Gina's idea, and we want to acknowledge Gina for that wonderful, wonderful idea. And of course, we do like surprises because you are wonderful people, and it's lovely to give surprises. And so we actually have one final and very special award, which Stephen didn't realize about. And we'd sort of done a few other things to make this a surprise. It's our Inspiration Award. This award is going to the person who has lifted up our work and given us all critical insights into how to do our work. Sorry, I'm choking up, and you'll know why in a minute. It's allowed our vision of the work to evolve and constantly improve. It was this person's vision to have these volunteer awards today, but little did she know that we were also planning to honor her, the amazing and incomparable Gina Cavallo. So I'd just like to share a little bit more. I mean, I think you know so much about what Gina does, but I just wanted to share a bit more about her and her incredible commitment to the coalition. Gina has been lifting up the coalition since she came on as our survivor consultant 4 years ago, but she's been lifting people up for a lot longer than that. In 2012, she responded to Superstorm Sandy by creating a nonprofit, the Paying It Forward Foundation, to help the most vulnerable to get their homes repaired and their lives back on track. Then she transformed that nonprofit into one which now focuses on survivors of human trafficking, called We Rise, with RISE standing for respect, inspire, support, and empower. Gina also serves on the New Jersey Commission on Human Trafficking. In 2020, just days before the COVID lockdown, she was awarded the National Liberator Award for Survivor Leader. On top of that, she's writing her book, which will be published next year, we think. And at the coalition, she coordinates a Survivor Leader Advisory Council, where she brings countless experts with lived experience to our table to further educate us all. Already this year, we've included over 25 lived experience experts in our work, and some of them many times over. Gina, beyond your many accomplishments, you've also been an amazing friend to me personally. You support me and guide me and make this work meaningful and also fun. Despite health setbacks and personal loss that you've endured this past year, you've never missed a beat. You are always there, keeping us on track to be survivor inclusive in all the work we do. So it is my great honor to present you with your award. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. This coalition has been nothing like I've ever known. I have seen individuals on this coalition with such passion and commitment. And survivors often talk about being heard, being seen, want to be part of things, and they should. But I believe it's a two-way street. We also need to recognize and hear and see all of you. And this day is to honor all of you, because without you, we wouldn't be able to accomplish what we have accomplished to date. There's a lot more work to do. I believe so much in collaboration. I didn't understand when I first started doing this work. There's organizations and some individuals that want to stay in their own lane. I'm not that person. And I believe in taking us all into a direction where we collaborate, because we rise by lifting others up. And today I just want to thank all of you for hearing us, for seeing us, for walking alongside of us. And I so appreciate the coalition. I so appreciate all your efforts. And I'm looking forward to a lot more work that we need to accomplish. So thank you so much. Before we go on, excuse me.
This was the surprise I was referring to. So we have 2 more awards to give out, and it was Gina's idea.
And thank you, Focus for Health. I take this everywhere. The little things that you get become big things, and they're big things to me. So thank you, Barry and Jennifer, and everyone. A little out of order. Thank you. I want to make sure it's the right person. This person doesn't like recognition, but I'm humbled and honored, and I feel courageous to be the one doing it, to present this next award to someone who is unstoppable, for her commitment, for her influence, for her compassion, and how she continues to spearhead the growth of this coalition to the effective organization that it is today. Although I often say we are all pieces of the puzzle making this happen, however, I often say she is the pillar of our organization. Kate? Kate, thank you for walking alongside of us. Thank you for all you put up with me. Kate has taught me how to make lemons into lemonade. And what we do well together is we have become friends, and I love you dearly. I love everything about you, professionally and personally. And we are so blessed to have you in this coalition. And Kate is just a person that I just love dearly. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart on behalf of all survivors, on behalf of all of us in the coalition. Thank you.
So Gina's right. I hate recognition. I don't like being in pictures. You all know that. It's just, I love being with you all. And whatever it takes to stay being with you all, I will do that. I'm not going to say more than that, that you're just an extraordinary group of people. And there are so many people, everybody is deserving of awards today. And you all know who you are. It's just extraordinary to see the amount of creativity and knowledge. I mean, you teach me things every single day, and I love it. And I love you all, so thank you so much.
It is my distinct honor to present this last award to the president of our New Jersey Coalition for your impactful leadership, commitment, strength, and integrity. He not only sets our vision, but he completed his doctorate. Danny, your strength, your hope, your encouragement, your leadership that you do for not only those with lived experiences, but those for the coalition is just unreckoned. And we love you, and we thank you, and we appreciate you. And congratulations, Dr. Danny Papa.
Like Kate, I don't like recognition. I don't feel comfortable with it, and I still can't say the DR before my name, so it's really weird. But I'm very humbled by this and just honored. It is an honor and privilege to work with each one of you, and I just want to thank you very much. Thank you, Gina, for your kind words. Thank you.
So that concludes our awards presentation, and I too, like Danny, have a favorite quote, and it's not what leaders do, but what they inspire others to do. And I like to think that each one of you inspires me to be better at what I do. All of you are wonderful. All of you are leaders. All of you are role models. And so thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. It's been a privilege working with all of you, so thank you very much. I'll now turn it back over to Kate.
So we're going to show you some videos now, because really the coalition has realized that we want to move into video work. We're trying to always explore how to get the message out, and that seems to be the way. We hope that these videos are already familiar with you. And if you've got your programs with you, on the back, you'll see that you've got the QR codes for the links for them. We want you to be able to point to them wherever you go and quote them all the time, because these are important ways to get the message over. And we think that it will particularly engage our youth, and that's incredibly important to our work. So I'm going to have to tell you a bit about how these were made, because I think it's really important to see that we put into action what we say we do. The work we do is always survivor inclusive. And so I'm going to get Gina back up just to share for just a short while what the process was that went into making the first video that we'll be showing now.
Sorry. Yeah, so our PSAs, the thing like I always say that I love about the coalition is that everything we do is survivor informed. And what that means for some of you that may not know, it means that we're not tokenisms. It's not something that you do to exploit survivors. Survivor leaders that choose to get up and they want to be a part of things, to advocate and do things. The coalition is survivor informed, and you get that way by having survivors be part of the conversation, bringing them in on all your projects. And this was led along with other expertise that are not survivors, and we do things collaboratively. And that's how we have been so successful in getting things done, through collaborative effort. And we can't do it without you, and you can't do it without us. So if one is doing it without another, you're not going to have that pendulum, where it should be. So these survivor experts that are on here doing what they did is what makes this very powerful.
Labor trafficking is a form of human trafficking that can happen to anyone, regardless of age, gender, culture, race, or citizenship status. Labor trafficking involves manual labor that can subject someone to long hours of work without breaks. Labor traffickers can recruit an individual to work by using threats, lies, or other types of manipulation to ensure that a worker does not report what is happening to them. Whether you are visiting farms in Atlantic County or dining in restaurants in Bergen County, labor trafficking can be seen in many different industries like gas stations, restaurants, hotels, farm working, or construction sites. It is not uncommon to see a manager or supervisor hovering over an employee or using threatening language when talking to someone at risk of labor trafficking. Examples of exploitive work conditions may include lack of personal protective equipment like masks, gloves, and goggles when using sharp objects, heavy lifting, or operating machinery. Victims of labor trafficking may appear in public settings with physical injuries, lack of proper hygiene, or feelings of fear. Types of labor trafficking may include domestic servitude, debt bondage, involuntary child labor, and other forms. Most victims of labor trafficking are not aware of their rights when working for an abusive employer. Regardless of your citizenship status, you have rights in this country. Everyone is entitled to back wages, overtime pay, or basic protective equipment. Every victim who is a non-citizen is eligible for continued presence, T visa, or U visa. Local consulates are available and willing to assist non-citizens in completing their visa documentation as well as understanding their human rights. Silence is not an option.
If you are a victim of this form of abuse, or you know someone whom you suspect of this, call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 888-373-7888 or text HELP or INFO to 233-733. With your help, we can keep our communities safe.
When we invite survivors to the table, we want to make sure that they're in a good place. We want to empower them, but we also want to make sure that they're able to do what they do. And when Danny talked earlier about our whys, we could always walk around as victims, but we choose, those of us who are able to. I wouldn't be able to do this without the support and the love and encouragement of my family and my friends and those who matter to me, and my family with the coalition. So I want to make a difference. And so this person's voice that you heard on this video is a dear friend to me, and as well as the coalition. And he is a survivor of labor trafficking. He's with the United Nations, and he's also with the National Leadership Academy. And so this, we were very honored. And these are the type of individuals that I like to invite and that we encourage and that we have on our advisory council. And, you know, we're really humbled and proud to walk alongside of so many seasoned survivor-led organizations and individuals. Thank you.
So the other video, actually, it's a film, a short film we'd like to show you. I hope I can announce it's already received an honorable mention at the Big Apple Film Festival. So I'd like to invite Norman Kaufman and Diana Staris just to come and just share a couple of words about the creation of this really important film.
I think you need this higher than I do. So as Kate mentioned, we started off with this idea, and I will have to say that this was Norman's idea to start off with. Norman is part of our healthcare committee, and Norman said, we should be making a film about this. It's like, oh, okay, what's the idea here? And he started writing the script, and then one of our other healthcare members, her name is Joy Martinez, and she couldn't be here today because she works nights as a nurse, and she's home sleeping right now. But she works for Capital Health down in Mercer County. And Capital Health Women in Philanthropy offers there's a proposal out for grants every year. So she brought that to our attention. We applied in 2021, and we were granted a $10,000 award. So luckily, Norman's also got a son, Jeremiah. Norman was a scriptwriter, and Jeremiah is a producer-director. So we worked with father and son team to make this happen. I will tell you that once the script was written, we did hand it over to Gina and her team, so that Gina and her team could then look at it and make it what you're going to see today. We wanted to make sure that it was not only survivor-informed, but that it was demonstrating that trauma-informed approach that we want all healthcare workers to have. And I will tell you what is unique. Oh, can't hear? Oh, okay. What's unique about this is that there is nothing else out there like this. There are a lot of training videos for healthcare providers, but this is more of like a commercial, in that we just wanted to start raising some awareness for healthcare providers. Oh, okay. Okay. I will talk right into them. Anyway, we wanted to make sure that we wanted to get something out there that was going to raise awareness for healthcare providers, pique their interest, and make them want to know more. So although we started off calling this a PSA, it is about 6.5 minutes long, which is a little bit long for a PSA. But we believe that we have a great product, and like Kate said, the QR code's on the back. If you have not seen it, please watch it. And also, if you are in any contact with anybody in the healthcare realm, and it doesn't matter whether it's a hospital, urgent care, doctor's office, it really doesn't matter. We want to get the word out, so please share with them. And now I'm going to turn this over to Norman.
Well, I've been on the healthcare committee for about 2 years. This is the first time I've been able to meet with you all. And it's so nice to be here with you. I came via, I was working as a volunteer at the Newbridge Medical Center. I was leading 12-step groups for users, addicts. And so I was working with trafficked people all the time, working meaning, you know, pouring my guts out. And but when COVID hit, I was no longer able to go to the hospital. They wouldn't let me in anymore. And so somehow I wound up on the healthcare committee of the New Jersey Coalition. And I actually think it was, it was actually more Diana's idea. Let's make a movie. But I just have a couple of production details I just want to share with you just for your own general interest. Yeah, so my son is the smarter half of the Kaufman production team. He's currently in Israel working in his business there. And Gina gave us a much needed boost to her. She gave us a concept and a story that we could then cut into a production script, which we then filmed. It was a 2-day production. And maybe a half-a-day location scouting. A couple of little details you may be interested in is that we had 2 casting sessions on Zoom, but most of the people that were in those casting sessions somehow dropped out later. So I would say about a week or 2 before the actual production shoot, we actually had to find new cast, and we had to actually find a new location. Our old location fell apart. So it was really a miracle from God that the shoot went off the way it did and so well. And I just want to say a really thank you to the actors who really brought this script to life. I mean, a lot of them had no experience. Some of them had very little experience in acting. They were absolutely amazing. And you'll see the quality of their interactions. It's such an emotional film. It transcends anything I thought this was going to be. Just want to tell you a secret. One of the hardest parts was to keep this to a 6-minute script. It actually runs now at 6:44. But the first 30 seconds of the film are not in the script. It's something that happened on location. My son and I looked each other in the eye. We saw the opportunity, and it's actually the exterior shooting that was never in the script. One last thing, I want to make this brief. Yeah, so we did receive honorable mention. We're submitting to a few film festivals. Hopefully we're going to get some recognition and maybe meet somebody who will come alongside the organization, the coalition, to help for future projects. And so Diana has also submitted to the Montclair Film Festival and also the Garden State Film Festival, 2 of the most prestigious in the state. And we're waiting to hear back from them.
And all of our actors were offered their services pro bono, which was wonderful. So again, a volunteer-led project out of the coalition. So without further ado,
how to spot a victim of human trafficking. A trafficker can be male or female. Recruiters, working for the trafficker, are often victims too. They can present as family, employers, neighbors, or companions. They should never serve as language translators. A controlling partner may indicate human trafficking. Proceed with care in the safest way possible for both patient and staff.
Diana?
Have a protocol that ensures these situations are handled in a consistent and direct manner.
I'm sorry. It's our policy to initially evaluate patients individually. I can call you back in a few minutes. Lily?
Recent studies have shown that over 80% of survivors sought medical care while being trafficked, but they were not identified. Physicians, nurses, EMTs, social workers, dentists, all healthcare professionals are in a key position to identify victims of violence if they have the proper training and resources.
Oh, I fell. I can be clumsy. Ow. Let me go get the doctor. Are you okay with that? As I mentioned before, it's our policy to examine the patients first. We let visitors back in when it's in the best interest of the patient. Your friend Angel's asking to join us back here. Is that what you want?
Red flags of human trafficking can include signs of physical violence, no ID, fear of a controlling companion, hesitancy to speak, poor eye contact, or a complaint not matching presentation. Whenever possible, provide suspected victims a safe and private space so that sensitive conversations can take place.
Hi, Lily. I'm Dr. Verghese. Is it okay if I take a closer look at your belly? So notice significant bruising on your face. How did that happen?
Oh, these are my fault. I didn't follow the rules.
We encourage you to familiarize yourself with the PAIR tool, a guide for healthcare professionals on how to provide trauma-informed assistance for patients who are at high risk of abuse, neglect, or violence. The PAIR tool ensures that the patient's wishes, safety, and well-being are prioritized.
Your stomach should be feeling better soon. Just a superficial bruise, no internal injury.
Lily, this is Nicole. She works as an advocate. She'd like to talk to you just to make sure you're safe. Are you okay with that? Yeah, I guess so.
Hi, Lily. I know you're here for an injury, but I like to talk to every patient just to make sure that they're safe at home. We want to make sure that we can help you. Is that all right?
The advocate has lived experience and is trained in a trauma-informed approach and process. After reviewing information about abuse, neglect, or violence, time is allowed for open discussion, especially if the patient is exhibiting risk factors of victimization. If assistance is declined, the patient's wishes are always respected.
I'm safe. I'm a model and my boyfriend is my manager.
Does your boyfriend keep your ID safe?
Yes, and he keeps most of my money too, so I don't waste it. Do you know what's wrong with me?
If the victim agrees, the advocate will make connections with resources such as temporary housing, mental health services, or health insurance applications. Remember, as healthcare providers, we are not here to rescue patients. Even if they decline help at first contact, let the victim know that your facility is a safe place to come back to.
Lily, I can help you get connected to a safe house program if you want to get out of the situation that you're in. Are you interested in calling there?
How is that safe?
It's totally up to you, but you deserve a life that's safe from violence. I can help you with that if you want.
I would like that.
Here's a Dignity backpack. It has toiletries, clothing, anything that you need.
Empowerment, voice, and choice. Gaining the patient's permission empowers them and follows HIPAA regulations. The relevant paperwork can be completed now that the patient has consented.
Here's your ride. If you ever need to, you can always check out our Safe Haven Clinic. The staff is specifically trained to treat patients who have experienced trauma similar to yours. But don't worry, it's free and confidential.
Lots of microphones right at my face now. So now we've got a small bit of business to conduct. So I'd like to invite our treasurer, Miriam Hames, up, please.
Wow, that's pretty hard to follow. So we've had a great, so I'm really, really thrilled to present the Treasurer's Report for the Coalition for the past year, and also to give you a view of what we're thinking about for next year. Closer, gotta listen to Kate. So, you know, you've heard so much from Danny, from Kate, from all our volunteers of all the various programs and everything that we've done this past year. And can we go to the next slide, Kate? So this is our revenue trend, and it's continued to grow and outpace expenses. And we've resulted in a net surplus for the past 5 years. And that's because of all of the volunteer work that we've had. The year-over-year reduction, so this year we're expecting about $107,000 in revenue. And you know, when I first started with the coalition, we were at $31,000. And so you'll see that, and I'll talk a little bit about next year in a minute, that we go down next year. We're hoping that that doesn't happen, but that's really because this year we received so many grants, and one of them was an extremely large grant, and we want to make sure that we're a little bit conservative when we actually plan on what programs we can fund. And then, of course, we've been really flexible as we go through the budget meetings with all of you. You know that when you come up with your creative ideas, we're always willing to do something when we have the funds available. And so just for some of the grants that we've gotten, so you've seen the benefits, the PSAs were funded by our Focus for Health grants, and they are great partners, and we have even a grant scheduled for next year. We actually got $51,150 worth of grants this past year. Diana and Norman mentioned the grant from Capitol Health that funded the healthcare film. We got a grant from Win This Fight, Horizon, Provident Bank, and we're even applying for another one from Provident Bank for next year. So lots of opportunity for us, but again, we wanted to make sure that we're a little bit conservative. And just a little bit about where our revenue comes from. We do have a diversified stream of revenue, so that makes it a little bit, makes our coalition a much more financially sound organization. We get money from our Freedom Circle donors, so those of you who give $1,000 or more. We got $16,000 from them this past year. Our annual fund and recurring donations, thank you so much to those of you who every month have money deducted from wherever your paychecks or whatever, and are constant donors to us. Our member dues, the grants, as I mentioned, and next year we hope to have our much-missed gala. And you heard a little bit about when Gina and Wincy first met at the gala. So $107,000 is something we can be really, really proud of. Kate, can you go to the next slide? So I want to tell you where we spend that money. I'm sure you're all interested. So we funded 25 plus programs this past year, even with COVID. So, and all of you had a part of that. So I'd say everyone should give themselves a hand for that. And many of those programs had multiple parts. So that's something really interesting. We also created a centralized pool of funds for survivor speakers, people with lived experience, and we had over 25 people participate. So that's also amazing. Gina brought us with so many, connected us with so many amazing people, and included in that were also some survivor projects that we did. I don't even have to tell you about the PSAs. You just saw them, and we're in the midst of doing some more of those. We provided gift cards to survivors, both through the work of the Providers Networking Committee and the FBI. I saw Kayla here. Is she still here? Kayla, stand up for all the work you do, please. We were able to give the survivors through all the hard work of Kayla and so many others, more than $5,000 in gift cards for much needed necessities. We funded scholarships and our intern program, as well as we also have grants for schools when they want to have a survivor speaker and don't have a budget. We're able to provide that for them. And we'd really like to do more of these scholarships, so if you know people who might be interested, please spread the word. We funded a grant to the NJCAHT. Is Aldina still here? Aldina, stand up for a second. Aldina has... So we were able to do that. So not only did we receive grants, but we were able to fund grants. Oh, and Nicole, thank you for standing up too. It's hard for me to see that far. We provided emergency assistance to survivors through the Survivor Assistance Fund, all the while tightly managing administrative expenses. Our administrative expenses have not really increased pretty much since I've been part of the coalition. So that's amazing. So with that, would you like to go to the next slide? Kate's always ahead of me. So as you can see, we've done so much and continue to do so much. So here's our goals for next year. We're poised for another exciting and successful year. Our overall revenue goal is $90,000. And as I said before, it's down a little bit from last year, only because one of the grants was just really, really large. And of course, you know, if we get another one like that, we'll find programs to fund, believe me. And here's where our funds come from. As I said, we have a diversified source of revenue. So we're hoping to do the gala this year. And we have a goal of about $15,000 to $20,000 from that. That's a net amount after our expenses. Our Freedom Circle members, those of you who have stepped up to be part of our Freedom Circle, we really appreciate it. Our membership goal, we charge $25 for membership. It's really a very, reasonable amount. And our annual fund and recurring donations, or just we get donations in from a lot of different reasons. And of course, we will continue to pursue grants. And this is what it's going to cover next year, some of the same stuff. So we are continuing to fund programs. We'll continue to fund our survivor-informed initiatives, where we will hopefully have more people with lived experience talk to us. We'll continue to provide survivor assistance. We're looking to maybe add some administrative and technology assistance next year as we grow. We're just getting really, really more and more complex every day. We'll have increased communication efforts to continue to broaden our reach, and we'll do some more awareness efforts and PSAs. And with that, we're all looking forward to a really, really great next year. Are there any questions about our finances? Great, thank you.
And now I'd like to invite our board secretary, Susan Panzica, to go through the formal process of our election of our new and returning trustees. Susan.
Thank you so much. For the formality, first I would like to thank the members of the nominating committee for presenting us 5 nominees for the Board of Trustees. That's Susan Waldman, Danny Papa, and Nicole Leopardi. Thank you so much for being part of the nominating committee. So I have some official wording that I have to say, that we have quorum. The annual election for the members of the Board of Trustees of the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking can officially proceed. Every one of you, if you are a current voting member, received via email a ballot as well as the biographies of each of the board members. I thank those of you who voted early because it made the job just so much easier, and so we really appreciate that. Today we voted for 5 nominees for the Board of Trustees. Their bios are out on the registration table, but just to give you a little flavor, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about each one. We know about Gina Cavallo. We thank her for her service. She has been on the Board of Trustees. She serves as our survivor consultant, and so she serves as a commissioner on the New Jersey Coalition Commission Against Human Trafficking, and so we're just so thankful for her. Carol Gable serves on both the Legislative Committee and the Operating Council. She's a founder of a Domestic Violence Crisis Center, and she has worked with numerous governors and their administrators and serves as a lobbyist. So we're so thankful for her. L.A. Lynch, who could not be here today, currently serves on the Board of Trustees. She has been co-chair of the Speakers Bureau and currently serves on the Operating Council, Legislative Committee, the Healthcare Committee. She is on the Vetting Committee for the Speakers Bureau. And in 2018, she was honored with the 2018 New Jersey Governor's Award for Public Service and the Jefferson Award. Tiffany Miller, again, she was not able to be here, but she is a licensed psychotherapist. She has 19 years of advocacy, community activism, and outreach, and she currently serves on the Legislative Committee, the Communications Committee, and the Operation Committees for the Coalition. And lastly, Rosario Sanchez. She's a dedicated nurse in critical care and forensics. She serves on the strategic planning team for the board of the Coalition, the Speakers Bureau, and she co-chairs the membership committee. She collaborates with the Human Trafficking and Social Justice Institute at the University of Toledo and works with Senator Teresa Fedor out in Ohio. And so those are our 5 nominees. I am now required to ask, are there any nominees from the floor? No, thanks, good. No, seriously, are there any nominees from the floor? Okay, hearing none, I can proceed to ask if there is a member here who hasn't voted who still wishes to. Okay. And so we have counted the ballots. We received 50 ballots prior to and here at the meeting. And so only 15 were necessary for quorum. And so I am honored to announce that by unanimous vote, please join me in welcoming our new and returning board members. Would you come up? Gina Cavallo, Carol Gable, L.A. Lynch, Tiffany Miller, and Rosario Sanchez. Would either of you like to say anything at this time?
Just an honor to be here with you today, and I'm fairly new to the coalition, so I'm really just getting my feet wet and look forward to working with all of you. Thanks so much to Danny, Kate, where's Kate? Kate, and everybody in the room. Really looking forward. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone. I'm looking forward to our continuing partnership, collaboration, and just continuous growth. Thank you. Thank you, Susan.
Wait, don't leave yet. And I would just like to invite all of our board members to come up, please, and just welcome our new trustees.
So before I just quickly hand over to Danny for a final wrap. Oh, forgot my. I just want to let you know that there's a great event online next Wednesday evening featuring the wonderful Wincy Terry Bryant and an amazing survivor leader, Christian Eduardo. It will be a really interesting way to see our training presentation done slide by slide with full discussion. It's a sort of different way of sort of ingesting the information, not quick and rapid, but slow and thoughtful. So do give that a try. That will be next Wednesday. You can go to our Safer NJ website to sign up for that. And then finally, over to Danny for a wrap.
So once again, today was about our volunteers and all of you that are here. So please take some time to just talk and enjoy each other's presence since we haven't been together in more than 2 years. So again, thank you again for coming. We're honored to have you here, and please take some time to spend with us. And we look forward to seeing you in more in-person events to come. So thank you and have a good afternoon.
So the meeting's officially finished, but I want to let you know there are salads outside. You can either eat those in here, or you can take them outside, or you can take them home. I think you signed up for those. So please grab those. For those awardees, we'd love to have you come up with your awards so we can take a group photograph, and then you can put your awards in boxes after that. So for everyone else, feel free to either stay in here, get your boxes, chat around, but we'd love our awardees to come and bring their awards and have some photographs.